Hey guys, I just wanted to start the video off by saying that I had actually forgot to answer a couple questions as I was kind of scrolling through the phone. I happened to miss a little section. One is Speedy Metals. Second questions was if you could change any bike rule, what would you change in North Carolina? Definitely would be lane splitting, hands down. Would love to have that here. And Mr. Savan42 said, what do you use for video editing? I use a simple video editor by a company called Wondershare, and it's called Filmora. It's pretty easy to use. There's like a free trial version you can get, and then if you want to buy a license for it, it's actually really cheap. So yeah, nothing special here. I don't use Premiere or any of the other real popular ones. So yeah, that's it. Anyway, on to the video.
What's up, everybody? My name is Speak. Thank you for stopping back by my channel. Really appreciate it. Right now, we are going to answer your questions. Like a week ago, I posted a little quick AMA thing, just seeing if you guys had any questions for me. I was actually quite surprised to see that there was a lot. I think we've got almost 25, 30 questions, something like that. I didn't specify, so a few people did ask more than one question at a time. Totally fine. Maybe next time we'll limit it to just one, so you have to choose. This isn't going to be a real fancy video or anything like that, nothing crazy, just answering your questions. I'll try to keep things brief though, which is always a struggle for me. If I pronounce your YouTube username wrong, I'm sorry. So, first questions. Pavel, what is that, Hornak, wants to know, what is your dream bike, :D? Well, let me answer the :D part first. :D back at you. Aha. So, what is your dream bike? I would have to say that I'm not a big, like, dream whatever type person. I kind of keep it, like, somewhat realistic, and I would say my dream bike is probably an S1000R, you know, the naked S1000, and maybe I will actually own one of those someday, because it's not, like, that far, like, crazy out of reach. It's not like, oh, I want to have a Bugatti, you know, it's like, yeah, I don't have $1 million to spare. So there you go, first question answered. Whew, that was tough. Next question from Motovlog is asking, have I ever gone on tour, or what do you need for touring? That's an excellent question. I have no idea. I've never done any touring. The most I've ever ridden in a day was like a couple hundred miles, mostly cruising on the highway, which you don't really need anything for that. I mean, there's nothing really special. I would say a very comfortable bike is probably one of the main things. Let's turn right here. That would be my recommendation anyway, is a nice comfortable bike, upright seating position, something with a little bit of sort of fairings, bodywork in the front, a reasonable size windscreen, stuff like that. Maybe bags, maybe not. But if you're like my buddy CBR Rat, then you're going to take your Repsol Edition 1000R on a 2,000 mile trip with nothing but a backpack. So it's up to you. What do you want for touring? Motovlog. No, wait, we answered that one. Sorry, Nothing. That's the username. Nothing, or no one? I don't know. Nothing wants to know, at what age did I start riding, and do you have any advice for young riders? Actually, I'm not really the best person to ask for that, because I didn't start riding until I was 31 years old. So I'm pretty old. I never had any experience with, like, mini bikes and dirt bikes and, you know, things like that growing up. So yeah, I mean, start as young as you can. I wish I had started younger. Just be smart, be as smart as you can, be safe, wear gear. You know, that's a personal thing for me, but I highly recommend it. Just do it. You'll be happy for it. If you're young, you can't afford these things, you know, save up, ask your parents, you know, for help, tell them that that's what you're interested in, take safety classes, just, you know, be smart about it. I think that's really the best advice I can offer. Lou :V wants to know, why do you have such a great personality? Haha, trick question. I don't. Karen H wants to know, do you ever get spotted or recognized? Not for being a motovlogger, no. Nobody knows around here who I am. I'm not out riding around enough or really trying to make a name for myself, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm, you know, no. I guess is the best answer for that. Every once in a while somebody will notice the, you know, the GoPro though, and they'll, you know, talk to me about that or whatever. That's pretty much it. Laura S wants to know why I'm so cool. Again, trick question. I am not. Paz Art World wants to know what is the first bike that I got and what is the best first bike. So my first bike was a 2006 or 7? 2006 Ninja 250. I think it was a great first bike. Had a couple minor issues with it simply because it was a really low mileage bike and it was carbureted, so it just needed some work on the carb, and that was pretty much it. It leaked a little, had to replace some gaskets, wasn't a big deal. Otherwise it was a great first bike, and I put like 6,000 or 7,000 miles on it without really any issues at all. A little hard to start in the winter, but you know, being carbureted, and maybe the carbs needed to be tweaked some more anyway, but you know, it always got me around and I never got stranded. So there you go. As far as what's the best first bike to get, I personally am a big proponent of getting a starter bike, so a lower cc, you know, bike, 250 to 600 cc, and I don't, or 650, and I don't mean like, oh, get a 600 sport bike for the first bike. If you want to, that's totally your choice, but I mean something more like the SB 650, maybe even something like the FZ07, you know, that could be good. Yeah, so a lot of good ones out there. Johan, no, I'm just kidding, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Johan, wants to know, are you planning on doing more vlogs? Yes, I mean, maybe if the right topic comes to mind. He goes on to say that I had mentioned a break and stuff, and yeah, you know, I'd like to. It's just a matter of, do I have content that's worth it? I mean, having this new bike, or new to me bike, I'm sure I can come up with a few things that, you know, to talk about and stuff like that, pros and cons, whatever, some other things like that. And yeah, I'd like to, but I can't commit to any plans or any sort of schedule at this time. You know, that's kind of the answer I got to go with for now. Speedy Metal, you need to work on some grammar or some colons or something like that. I'll read your question out loud, but it sounded very awkward to me when I first tried to answer it, and that's going to be, if you could have an animal, dead or live, dead or alive, wait, what? Basically what he's trying to say is anything from back in like dinosaur times until now, what kind of pet would I want? I mean, I'm not going to go with the common answer of like a dog or something like that, and you know, my wife and I have cats, so that's cool already, but yeah, I'm going to have to say a dinosaur would be pretty freaking sweet. I don't know, the pterodactyl was the first thing that kind of came to mind. I mean, like, everybody's all about like T-Rex and blah blah blah, but nah, I don't know, something that could fly would be pretty awesome. I'd just have that thing ride me around somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Taxapaga wants to know why are teens so cruel, cold, and in a depressing way, judgmental and shallow and stuff like that. This is also a trick question because adults are too, so I have no idea. Kitty Kylo Studios was wondering what inspired me to start riding and why. I've always wanted to ride for a long time, and kind of just for various reasons talked myself out of doing it, and then finally I went and took the motorcycle safety class, which I highly recommend, and I really loved it. My wife hated that I loved it because she was hoping that I would hate it too, but look, here I am on a bike, you know, look at me go. Alright, let's answer a couple questions while we're just sitting here at this kind of somewhat empty intersection, except for that car. Why did you have to ruin it? Okay, I said empty intersection and then you showed up. Yeah, get out of here. Jeez. Oh yeah, Trollface, sorry, it was kind of lumped together. Trollfaceman.exe also wanted to know how did I get into motorcycling, so same answer. Joseph Fogus said, I appreciate the help that you've given to me in the past on the Jixus 750. Funny you got an MT-07 as it came down to those two bikes for me. Kind of did for me too. Awesome. How do you feel about the power difference? And I know the MT-07 makes less, but it has a lot of torque and it's lighter. Yeah, I'm probably going to be doing a video on this. My initial answer is that I thought that I would be missing the Jixus more, and sometimes I am with certain things, but overall, I mean, this thing weighs 70 pounds less, and yes, it makes about 30 less horsepower, but I haven't been sad with it at all. The type of driving that I do, you know, running around town and stuff like that, yeah, I'm really happy with it. Mr. Potato Man wants to know what the fastest I've ever gone on the road/track, and did you ever get pulled over? What's the longest trip you've done on the bike? Let's answer these not in that order. Longest trip, a couple 100 miles, 200-300 miles in a day. So nothing crazy. I mean, that's a lot of people do that like all the time, so no big deal. What's the fastest I've ever gone on the road or track? I've never been to the track, but I will say that on a racetrack, I went 120 miles an hour. And no, I've never actually been pulled over on the bike before. So that's good. I'm hoping to keep that up. And if I ever get pulled over, my wife might never let me ride again. So definitely trying to avoid that for multiple reasons. Brittany H said, what made you want to start Motovlogs, and what was your first bike? Go back to the first bike, Ninja 250, 06, I believe. And what made you want to do Motovlogs? I don't really know exactly. Like, I had been watching Motovlogs for a little while before I even started riding. I don't think that was a full stop there, but whatever. Yeah, I had wanted to do Motovlogs, I guess, just to kind of see what it was all about, try my hand at it and stuff, and it just kind of went from there. I don't feel I'm too terrible at it, you know, but yeah, it's just kind of fun, something to do, and I stuck with it. I was doing 2 videos a week for like a year, which if you haven't done that before, it's actually a good bit of work. So hats off to the folks that do like higher level like productions with stuff, you know, Motovlogs or any other kind of YouTube channel, and you're cranking out multiple videos a week. It can be a lot of work, you know, well, most especially if it's just you, like doing the filming and the editing and coming up with content and stuff like that. So anyway, gotta get off that answer though, so we don't spend too long on any one question. So I had to make a note on this one, and let me back up and say that I tried not to think about these questions too much before I just came out to answer them, okay? And after we answer this one, we're going to get back on the road and get moving again because I'm getting toasty. Riding with Demick, what's up, man? My friendly homie on toot, wants to know, here's a question. If I put a Hayabusa engine into a Grom, would you ride it? LOL. Most random question I could think of. Well, sir, wouldn't that violate rule number 1? Ha! Got him! He knows what I'm talking about. But on a serious note, yes, I would totally ride that. That sounds amazing. Kevin Crane wants to know, besides having such awesome videos, what made you do the decision to start a YouTube channel? And I'm glad you did. I think I basically just answered that question just a moment ago, so I should have lumped those together. But Kevin Crane, just rewind the video a few seconds, and there is your answer. Your pal, Andrew. Hey, my name's Andrew too, so that's cool. Hats off to you. What's up, man? Anyway, he wants to know, how did you first get into bikes? Also answered that question earlier. Yeah, just always wanted to ride, finally did it, don't wait. Brandon Patterson wants to know, what do you do for a living? I am a machinist living in Missouri. That's cool. I think that everyone should have a job title that starts with the same letter as the state that you live in. Yeah, that would be an interesting society. Yeah, let's not do that. That's why I'm not in charge. So let me just say that I am in the automotive industry and also kind of the tech industry. Hope that helps. Yeah, that's how I can answer that question. So yeah, automotive and technology-ish type. Yeah, there you go. Words are hard. Ooh, do we want to turn left or go straight? Go straight! Ty Guy 720 wants to know, what do you think is better for commuting vehicle, Enduro or Supermoto? I would also like to go on trails. I'm pretty sure I would have to change the Supermoto tires. You know, I do not have a lot of experience with either of those bikes. I have ridden a Supermoto, the DRZ 400 SM by Suzuki. Awesome bike, excellent for ripping around town. Commuting, maybe, only if you don't really have to spend much time on the highway, because I did notice that that's where that bike, I could say, struggled, but struggle's not really a fair word because it's not even designed for that type of riding, really. It's not designed to go on the highway. It's designed to hoon around town, you know, so for that thing is awesome, you know? Yeah. Enduro, I think typically they have knobbier tires and they have you know, like longer suspension travel and stuff like that, I think. So yeah, it kind of depends on like what your primary use is going to be. That would be my suggestion anyway, is like evaluate like what are you going to be doing the most, and then get that, because then you can make the thing that you're doing kind of on the side with it, you can make that work. Hemant Singh. Yeah, there we go. I know words. Choose one: a Lamborghini or Boss Hog bike, $1 million or 1 million subs, bike or your life. By the way, love from India. I don't know if I'm supposed to choose one of the three or one from each of those three questions, so let's just do those individually. Lamborghini or Boss Hog bike? I'm gonna go Lamborghini. I'm sorry, Boss Hog bike, I'm sure they're cool and everything, and it's just not me, not my style. $1 million or 1 million subs? I don't know. I don't really care too much about either of those, so I mean 1 million subs would be cool. And I mean, I'm sure if you have 1 million subs and you're making videos, you're probably making some money, maybe not $1 million, but you know, yeah, I think it'd be more fun to have 1 million subs and stuff like that. Oh, and love from India, please shout out my Instagram handle at BIGDI_SI_ZINDGI. Done. Shout it out. I don't even have an Instagram, so you're welcome. Robo50Cal says, what is your opinion on straight pipe bikes? I guess it depends on the bike. I mean, I like a little bit of a muffler myself, but maybe you don't, and you know, it's your bike, it's your choice, you know, so yeah, I mean, whatever you feel is best on that one, you go for it. I think though, probably not quite straight piped, but I do like a nice exhaust every now and again, so who doesn't? Oh, Matthew Williams is next. Good grief, I'm gonna have to pull over and read this because I did read it, and like I said, I didn't really want to think about the questions too much, but his question is so weird. I'm gonna have to pull over for this one, so give me a second here. Alright, nice shady spot, bike off, still recording. Okay, Matthew. Paper or plastic? Why is water wet? If Particle Man gets wet, does water get him instead? Nobody knows, Particle Man. Matthew, you win for the strangest question, and I'm sure that's probably what you were going for, but I am going to answer all of your questions because I will not let your strangeness affect this video. I will complete it. Paper or plastic? Typically do plastic, simply because we reuse all the plastic bags at the grocery store, like in our trash cans at home, so I feel like we're kind of recycling them in a way. Why is water wet? Water is not wet. You're wet and water is dry. Boom. If Particle Man gets wet, does water get him instead? Particle Man is particles, water is particles, so Particle Man is water? Yes. Nobody knows Particle Man. True statement. I think, actually, we have finally made it to the last question. Question number 24. XXSAE Cat says, what equipment do you use? What do you wear? Well, other than the bike, I do full gear. Yep, got boots on, motorcycle jeans, jacket, with armor in the chest, back, shoulders, elbows, and, you know, gloves with, like, knuckle protection and stuff. It's summer right now, so I'm not wearing, like, longer gloves, you know, but in the winter I'll wear a longer set of gloves, thicker jacket, you know, stuff like that, thick pants, that are for, like, touring and stuff that are padded, or like quilted and warm and stuff like that. Yeah, so all the gear all the time is kind of what equipment I use. Oftentimes there will be links down in the description for some of the gear. Sometimes I rotate it out or whatever, and if I remember to, I will throw a little card, which way do I have to point, up there, for the video that I did on like how I stay warm, where I go into a little bit of detail about my winter gear. But yeah, that's basically it. So all the gear all the time, that's my recommendation for anybody that's new to riding, because I know I talked about that too. Wear your gear. Yeah, and I think that'll do it for the questions. Well, thank you guys so much for all those questions. I know it was like technically marked as 24 there on my list, but I think it was more like 30 something questions that we answered, and that's just that's awesome. I really had no idea that many people were going to post, and I'm so glad that we got to have this chat. Yeah, hopefully it was more like a chat, you know. And anyway, I might do this again in the future. Since this video is already posted, if you have any further questions, I might just probably answer them down in the comments, or if you somehow found the AMA video, I'll link to this one, and then if you post there, I'll answer your questions in there, you know, etc. But yeah, maybe in a little while we'll do another one, because this was actually kind of fun. So yeah, hope you guys all have a great day. Thank you very much for stopping by and for the support and everything like that. And hopefully I will talk to you again soon.